Petroleum production and export play a dominant role in Nigeria's economy and account for about 90% of her gross earnings. This dominant role has pushed agriculture, the traditional mainstay of the economy, from the early 50s and 60s to the background. Discovered in the late 50s by Shell Petroleum at Oloibiri in the eastern Niger Delta, Nigeria now had attained a production level of over 2 million barrels of crude oil a day. However, the country is still suffering from abject poverty, with about 112 million Nigerians living below poverty level. Corruption have eaten deep into the oil and gas sector of the economy, thereby hindering all the required development needed to be executed for the betterment of the people. Most hit is the power sector, education and healthcare, where most Nigerians cannot afford getting good education and adequate healthcare services. In January, hundreds of thousands of Nigerians took part in the biggest protest in the history of Africa's most populous nation, sparked by a hike in state-subsidized petrol prices. The protests were fueled by anger at the graft that has for decades channeled oil wealth into the pockets of a minority. Corruption has left oil-dependent Nigeria unable to cater for its basic health, infrastructure or education needs. It was really a showdown between the government and mostly the ordinary downtrodden Nigerian. Despite its formal organization as a vertically integrated oil company, NNPC is neither a real commercial entity nor a meaningful oil operator. That it lacks control over the revenue it generates, unable to set its own strategy, and relies on other firms to perform essentially all the most complex functions that are hallmarks of operating oil companies. In recent time, various audits, investigations and proofs of the oil and gas industry were made. The revelations at this hearing exposed the rot bedeviling the oil and gas industry. Also, the House of Representatives set up the Honorable Farouk Lawan Committee to look and investigate how the various subsidy monies is being paid to importers and marketers. Even though the report is yet to be presented to the House and public, the rot in the sector has already been felt. In order to put the NNPC and the nation's oil and gas industry in order, the federal government recently constituted 3 different task forces with different mandates. The Oil Revenue Task Force, to be headed by the former EFCC chairman Malam Nuhu Ribadu; the National Refinery Special Task Force, to be headed by former Minister of Finance Dr. Kalu Idika Kalu; and the Special PIB Task Force, to be headed by Senator Udo Udoma. Nigerians are all eyes open, waiting to feel the impact of all this translating into food on the table, good education, healthcare services and delivery, uninterrupted electricity and employment for the teeming unemployed youth.